Perfect. So as you can see that because there is one person only present in the frame, so our LPC count is 1, which means our live person count is 1, and the overall person count is also 1. Great. So we can see that live person count is now 2 because there are two persons in the frame, but the overall person count remains 3. Today in this video, we are going to write a person counter Python script. So this person counter Python script will basically count the number of persons present in the frame. So we will do it in a two different ways. So we will count the live person counts and the overall person counts as well. So now let's talk about what is live person and the overall person. Now let's say in a video frame you have one person. So the live person count will be 1 and the overall person count will be 1. Now let's say after some time that person moves out of the frame and let's say two new persons enter into the frame. So in this case the live person count will be 2 but the overall person count will be 3. So in this video, we are again going to inference over our test video. Let me show you the test video we have. So in this video, this lady comes into the frame, and after this lady, there are two persons coming into the frame. So we will count these person and we'll show them on our frame. CV to the IM show frame. So again, I'm going to use my person tracking code. If you don't know how the tracker works, please go to the person tracking video in this series and you will get the basic idea of how tracker works. So let's get started and let's start by creating a new Python file. I will name it as person counter.py and I will simply copy all the code from my person tracking to the person counter. Now in this code, we are going to define few of our variables. So as we discussed that we are going to count the live persons and the overall person. So let's take two variables for LPC count, which is our live person count, and OPC count. After this, now if you have gone through one of my previous person tracking video, so you must know that in this tracker.update, this particular code gives us the list of object IDs present in our frame. These object IDs belongs to the person, so which means that these number of persons are present in the frame. But this gives us the live count. It doesn't give us the overall count. So we need to create list which will hold the number of person count in it. So let me do that also. So I will somewhere here I will create object ID list. Sorry, this will be 0, not the list. Okay. So somewhere here we can mention. So somewhere here we can simply add the object IDs into our object ID list. But before doing this, we need to check whether this particular object ID is present in the list or not. Because if it's present, then we don't need to add it. Otherwise, it will duplicate it. So we can simply call here if object ID not in object ID list. Now, if it's not present in the object ID list, then we can simply add it. Now, after this, somewhere down here, we can simply display them. So let me create let me count the number of start. So let me now count the live persons. So for that LPC count is going to be objects and OPC count will be the length of object ID list. Now after this we can simply create an LPC text, LPC LPC count. In the same way, OPC text format OPC count. Now we just need to simply display it. So let me just copy it and paste it. I will replace this by LPC text. I will replace this by OPC text. Let's also change the coordinates. And here we go. So we have, okay, so our code is now ready. Let's try to run this by initializing our OpenVINO environment. So I'll simply initialize my OpenVINO environment. If you are not using OpenVINO, then you can simply ignore this step and directly run the code. Now let's go back to our code. Okay, and simply run person counter.py. Okay, so our frame is now running, and let's wait for that particular lady to come. Perfect. So as you can see that because there is 1% only present in the frame, so our LPC count is 1, which means our live person count is 1, and the overall person count is also 1. Now, as soon as this lady moves out of the frame, this LPC count, live person count will become 0, and the overall person count will remain 1. Here we go. So LPC count is now 0. Now let's wait for few other persons to come in. Great. So we can see that live person count is now 2 because there are 2 persons in the frame, but the overall person count remains 3, which means that our code is working perfectly fine. And this is how we can count the number of persons which are present in the frame. So I hope with this video you have got the basic idea of how you can perform the person counter. Now you can replace this video file with any of your test video file, or you can even do inferencing over the live video feed from the USB camera. So that's all for this video. I hope you have liked this video. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.